Hi, my name is Mia Zane. Welcome if you're new here. If you're not, it is so nice to see you again. Okay guys, so this is gonna be our last Yellowjackets video for a little while. I don't know when we'll be doing another one, maybe when there's more news about the show or whatever, or if there is something special to talk about. But we are going out with a bang, don't worry. We are going to be talking about Yellowjackets plot holes slash unanswered questions, just questions in general, that sort of thing. Also, just want to say right now, I have decided that I'm not going to be watching The Last of Us Season 2. I was unsure whether or not I was going to watch it, just based on when I found out what happened in the second part of the game. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I just don't like it. I don't like it. And it just makes me not really want to watch it. Yeah, we are going to be still covering shows, but we're going to be doing different shows. There will be a new video discussing a show very, very soon. Probably sometime this week, maybe in a few days. I don't know. I did some research for this. I looked up on like Reddit and Facebook pages what were some plot holes that like you guys saw, like other people saw that maybe I missed, or and like all that, and also just some of like my own questions and things that I thought of. So we got a whole list here, so let's get started. Let's just jump right in. The first one is Travis's death. I feel like there is a lot of mystery still around Travis's death. I know we technically know how he died. I know that we know that obviously Lottie was the reason he died. She accidentally killed him. But I feel like there was so much left unexplained. Like, why he was freaking out so badly. I know Lottie said that he wanted to be more connected to the wilderness. He wanted a near-death experience. And I just don't really understand why. It's not like something that's been a theme in the show, in my opinion, that near-death experiences have like brought them closer to the wilderness. Not that I've seen, at least. Usually it was like drugs that were bringing them closer to the wilderness. I don't know. I just think that there is a lot of unanswered questions. It's not necessarily a plot hole. I really kind of hope that we get more answers about what happened to Travis that night. Like, I doubt we ever will, but I do kind of hope that maybe we get more answers eventually of what happened to Travis and more of a clear explanation. I know Lottie accidentally like left him hanging, but like, I don't know, it just feels like there's more there. Do you guys think so, or am I crazy? Okay, and now this one I think is going on like plot hole territory at this point. The cabin fire. Who the fuck set the cabin on fire? We know pretty much that it wasn't Ben. I think that was pretty obvious throughout the trial, after the trial. So who did it? There is a theory that nobody did it, but either way, whether nobody did it or someone did it, we need a confirmation here. This has gone on too long with no confirmation. I'm getting scared that they're going to just keep going like it didn't happen and just blame it on Ben because that's what the girls did. But that's not really fair to the viewers because I think we should know what actually happened. Adam, in general, just Adam. I felt like watching it that there was more to that guy. Yeah, obviously he wasn't the one blackmailing them, but it felt like there was a deeper story there, and then he was just killed off. That seems to happen a lot. There seems to be a person who has like a story, and then they just kind of get killed off. And it's kind of frustrating because it's like it felt like we were building up to something here, and now they're just gone. And I don't know if that's really a plot hole or more so just like a question. Did those Yellowjackets, like those books that he had, or those whatever it was, did they mean anything? Will we ever know? I'm not sure. I doubt we ever will, honestly. And that is sort of frustrating to me. Which leads me into my next point. What was the point of Cody? Do you know what I mean? It was another character where it felt like there was a story there. I thought maybe he even was the one who set the fire. Maybe he was related to the cabin guy. Whatever, something like that. and then he just gets killed off. And I know it was to uplift Hannah's character, to build her character, but why did they make it seem like there was such a story with him, only to kill him off so quickly? And I'm not saying I liked the guy or anything, but it definitely felt like there was a story there. You know, I kind of wish that they kept him around just a little bit longer so we could find out what that story was. And then leads me to my next point. Who is Walter really, or is he just a nobody? Like, I feel like for the past 2 seasons, there's been this weird thing with Walter where it's like, we can't tell whether or not he's a good guy or a bad guy, and it's so confusing. And I want confirmation on either side, because I would love to ship him and Misty. I think that they could be great together, but I just can't, because I'm not sure if he's a good guy, who he really is he who he says he is? And again, not really sure, not really a plot hole, just kind of a question mark. Same thing with Cody, it's not necessarily a plot hole. Well, Cody kind of is a little bit of a plot hole. They kind of opened up quite a few storylines, it felt like, with him, and then just killed him. Okay, now the next one has nothing to do with any characters that were killed off, but, well, actually it does. Actually it does. I am lying. Did they clean up Melissa's house after Van was murdered? So when we pick up in episode 10, they've just left Melissa's house and Ty is like burying Van. What was the aftermath of what happened to Van? We don't really know. I don't know. This is just something that kind of bothered me. Like, did they clean up her house? Did they leave it bloody? I'm assuming they must have cleaned it up, right? I guess. But did they? I don't know. Is that something we'll ever find out? I don't know. Lottie speaking French in the first season. What was that about? Now, I know, I've read some comments of people who actually speak French fluently saying that she was speaking horrible French. But either way, what was up with that? And why have we never revisited that? I know the actress said that she never wanted to do it again because it was really hard. But point being, we've just never revisited that topic. She just broke out into French, and they said she was awful at French class, and I don't believe in, like, the wilderness being supernatural, but what the fuck was that? What was that? That is a plot hole. That is a plot hole. Okay, and another thing about Lottie, all the imagery that suggested she was the Antler Queen. Personally, I felt like there was not only so much imagery, but there was so many signs pointing towards her being the Antler Queen, because to me, I've said this in another video, I never really viewed the Antler Queen as the one, like, in charge, as the leader. More as a spiritual entity or an oracle or something of, like, that nature. And so that's Lottie to me. And there was so much imagery, like, throughout the seasons that suggested that she was the Antler Queen. Even down to the fucking dream she had. In season 3, episode 10, and it wasn't her. And what was up with all that? What is it, just that she gets to choose the Antler Queen? I don't know. When exactly did Natalie and Travis break up before season 3? Was it at the end of season 2? Was that their breakup, or did it happen some point in those, I don't know how many months, like 6 months, that we didn't see? Why did they never do, like, a flashback to why they broke up? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know why. I'm pretty sure it had to do with Javi, obviously, but it would have been nice to have some clarity, to be shown what happened. And I know we never will at this point, because season 3 is over. They're not going to go back and show us what happened now. But I feel like it was really weird that they didn't show us. They had them, like, just be super weird around each other and not talk the whole season, not address the breakup at all, and just, like, let us, like, assume why they broke up. That's a plot hole, too. That is a fucking plot hole. Okay, and this one, again, has to do with the cabin fire. How the hell did the cabin burn for 12 days? This isn't really a plot hole. This is a question. Is that realistic? Could something like that burn for 12 days? I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an expert on fire and whatever, but it seems unrealistic that it would burn for 12 days, especially in the conditions that they are in. It's not only snowy, it's wet. Like, for fire to usually be able to sustain for that long, it would need something dry. It would need dry wind, like that sort of thing, and like that is so not the climate they're in. It doesn't add up to me, but maybe someone who knows fire better could explain how this could be possible. How did the girls build the huts? Where did they learn to build huts like that? Did one of them do like some intensive like program in the woods and learn to build shelter or something? Because those were some advanced huts that they built. Like, that was advanced shit. And, like, multiple people complimented them on it. And I get it. Because what teenagers are building that? Just, yeah, no problem. That's, like, light work. We got this. Like, what? What? That's just a question, really. I don't understand. Now, this is a very popular plot hole that people like to talk about. Who was Javi's friend? I think I can explain this one, but I figured I would include it. I'm pretty sure it was a hallucination induced by the caves, and we were kind of supposed to come to that conclusion once the girls found out that the cave had toxic gas that caused hallucinations, because that is where Javi was staying. Yeah, they should have still explained it to us, like they should have maybe showed us just once, but I'm pretty sure that we were supposed to, like, come to that conclusion after knowing that the cave has that poisonous gas, I guess. Okay, this is a huge plot hole. Crystal's body, where the fuck did it go? You know, originally when it happened, I thought an animal must have taken her, but I don't even know if that makes sense because they were having such trouble finding game at that time. Like, there was no animals out. So it would have to be an animal big enough to drag a human body, which would really only be like something like around as big as a bear. And they weren't seeing anything like that out. Yeah, Crystal's body is a plot hole at this point, and I fear it may be one that we never get an answer to. I think the writers may have forgotten about her. No, they didn't. I think they mentioned her this season once. But I don't know if we'll ever find out what happened to her body, to be honest. What does the symbol mean? I'm gonna put the symbol here. I'm sure you guys know what symbol I'm referring to, but still. What does it actually mean? Obviously, it's been there since before the girls got there. So what does it mean? I feel like at this point, this can still be considered an unanswered question. I really hope that they explain and don't just leave it at it was just there. The symbol was just there. Any explanation would do, really. Why was there no plane scene for Lottie or Travis when they died? Now, when Natalie died, we had this sequence of her on a plane, a very specific plane, not the one they crashed in, where she sees her younger self, she sees young Lottie, I think she sees Javi, I think that's it, yeah. And then when Van dies, she has the same experience on the same plane where she sees her younger self and has a whole conversation, and they both watch their deaths on a screen on the plane. But we did not get a scene like that for Lottie or Travis. Genuinely very curious why. I wouldn't really consider this a plot hole, just kind of a question. I guess you could say that maybe they never planned to do these scenes originally, so when Travis died, they didn't do one. We didn't know him really at all when it happened. Maybe eventually, like, we'll flash back to that. Maybe we'll get more answers about his death and get his plane scene. I don't know, but I was so sure that we would get Lottie's plane scene in season 3, episode 10, but we did not. And it's just like, at that point, they've done a plane scene that season. Like, why did she not get one? Like, do off-screen deaths not get plane scenes? Even if we're shown what happened later? How much did Jeff actually know from the diaries? Now, in, like, the beginning, we kind of assumed that when Jeff read the diaries that he knew everything. But I think we've sort of come to the conclusion now that he does not know everything. And so now I'm really wondering, what does he know and what doesn't he know about what happened out there? What did Shauna include in her diaries and what did she not? Because, like, I think Jeff is a pretty reasonable guy. I have a hard time believing that Jeff read everything that she did out there and was like, yeah, I'm totally fine with us being together still. Like, especially after season 3, like, all the stuff she did. Like, even him reading about Jackie's death and them eating her is, like, questionable behavior why he would stay with her after that. Still love Jeff, but... And then them eating Javi and all that. Like, you know, I get their reasonings. You don't, guys don't need to explain it to me, okay? But I'm just saying, like, reading that from a person who did not go through it, it's like, viewpoint, that is like fucking insane. So I am just wondering how much she actually included in the diaries and whether she even included the cannibalism at all, or did she make it sound different than it was? Did, like, you know, because also too we know that Shauna viewed things very differently than everyone else. She felt like they were having fun out there. So what did she write? Okay, and the last one, this is definitely a plot hole. The dripping that Mari heard in the cabin. What was that? I know that she ended up hallucinating blood dripping from the walls, and it could have been foreshadowing her death and the dripping of the blood. But it was very odd, and I just feel like it was kind of brushed off and never really talked about again. Definitely a plot hole in my opinion. Like I said, I guess you could say it was foreshadowing, but also sort of a plot hole because we never really get like a real answer besides that little hallucination she has. She hears the dripping like all the time and then finally like hallucinates blood dripping, and I don't know. And she doesn't really have a history in the show of like hallucinating things like at all, besides like maybe Doom coming, but we like because they were all on shrooms. I don't know, she probably hallucinated then. But yeah, that is our last one. If hopefully I hit all the major plot holes and unanswered questions. Okay, I think we are gonna wrap things up here. Oh, this is our last Yellowjackets video for a while. Oh, I'm gonna miss talking about this show so much. I will make another one as soon as there is something new to talk about, or some sort of news or something, or another idea. I don't know. I don't have any more ideas. But there will be more TV show content coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys so much, and genuinely everyone who has started subscribing to me from my Yellowjackets videos, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. You have been so great to me, and thank you so much. If there are any plot holes that I forgot, comment them down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. They'll be at the end of the video and in the description if you want to. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Alright, I will see you guys next time. Bye.